I think that's in a major bubble, but I won't say to short it tomorrow. This market keeps going up and up with zero interest rates, and that's what's really pushing it.
It sounds like you're saying this could be the beginning of something problematic.
I think it's not will it happen, it's when it will happen.
There's one investor out there that a lot of CEOs just have to take the phone call from, because when you get a call from this guy, Carl Icahn, he probably wants to shake things up a little bit.
Icahn giving his thoughts on stocks broadly. I believe the market is extremely overheated. Also, if more respected investors had warned about the market in '07, we might have avoided the crisis in '08.
Overall, the U.S. equity market, do you think it's in store for a dramatic pullback?
I've been worried for the last 5-6 months about the market and the economy and in the dangerous spot that we're in. I did speak 4 or 5 times warning about the problems we have. I want to speak out now because I know this may sound corny, but I grew up in the streets of Queens. I love this country, and I feel so strongly about the dysfunction that is going on both in Washington and the boardrooms of corporate America.
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the 4 corners of the earth. Now, you just seen a video of a billionaire, Carl Icahn, who him and various other billionaires like George Soros, John Tepper, to name a few, that are speaking out against the financial issues within America, and how now they're at the point where they're betting against the S&P, which is pretty much U.S. stocks. All right, and they see a dramatic fall in the U.S. economy. So let me start with a scripture. I'm going to get into articles after that to prove this case. This book of James, chapter 5, verse 1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. That's right, because you people, mainly the rich, okay, if you're not a Rothschild, if you're not a Rockefeller, you're going to be affected by the economic downfall of America, all right? And you're going to cry and you're going to weep because of it, okay? As well as you simple indentured serfs here in America that work a 9-to-5 job, you're gonna feel the pain as well, okay? Verse 2, your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth-eaten. Verse 3, your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. That's right, because you wrapped yourself around with all this gold, all this wealth, the FRNs, gold and silver, and that's going to be your downfall, because you're going to lose it all in these last days. And what I mean, eat your flesh, because, you can't take this, you can't take your assets, okay, to the grave. And you can't use these assets to borrow when all hell breaks loose. Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days. That's right, because these are the last days. And as you see from that video, people like Carl Icahn are predicting an economic catastrophe coming to America, bigger than 2008. Verse 4, behold, the hired laborers have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept by fraud. That's right, because you so-called rich people, okay, you wealthy people, all right, the elite, mainly, you got your rich by fraud, theft, robbery. Okay, you stole this land from the North American Indians. All right, then you built this land here in America by using the so-called Negroes, who are the children of Judah. Okay, the real Jews, all right, to build up America, slavery. All right, crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are enter into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. That's right, because the Lord is hearing the cries of the 12 tribes of Israel, mainly of the elect of the 12 tribes of Israel, you so-called black, Hispanics, and Native Americans who have come to the realization that you are not a so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American. You are the children of the 12 tribes of Israel. All right? So let's get to an article to prove that the U.S. economy is done. This is RT.com. World seeing greatest monetary policy experiment in history. This is from Jacob Rothschild. All right. So Jacob Rothschild came out of the shadows. This devil, this demon. Okay, and it's pretty much letting the world know that the things that are going on in the world, mainly here in America, is unprecedented. All right, it says low interest rates, negative yields on government debt, and quantitative easing. Okay, really, it should have said Federal Reserve printing of money out of thin air. Okay, are part of the biggest financial experiment in world history, and the consequences are yet unknown. Now, notice how the devil says yet unknown. He's the one causing this, but yet he's saying yet unknown. All right, says RT Capital Partners Chairman Lord Rothschild, Jacob Rothschild, aka Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the devil on the planet. All right. Quote, the 6 months under review has seen central bankers continuing what is surely the greatest experiment in monetary policy in the history of the world. We are therefore in uncharted waters, and it is impossible to predict the unintended consequences of very low interest rates, with some 30% of global government debt at negative yields. And when you look up the yields, it's just another word for the outcome. All right. So pretty much the government's debt is, there's no incentive. There is no investment in government debt. People are not making a profit off of government debt, because what's another word for government debt? Bonds. Okay. At negative yields, combined with quantitative easing on a massive scale, Rothschild writes in his company's semi-annual financial report. All right. So this is the devil telling you bad shit's coming. The banker notes this policy has led to a rapid growth of stock markets. U.S. stocks have grown threefold since 2008, with investment growing and volatility remaining low. However, the real sector economy didn't enjoy such a profit. Notice how I said the real sector economy, meaning, so what's propping up this stock market? The Federal Reserve. All they're doing is putting money, cheap cash, into the stock market, which is causing this bubble that's about to burst. All right. However, the real sector economy didn't enjoy such a profit, as growth remains anemic, with weak demand and deflation in many parts of the developed world, according to Rothschilds. All right. The billionaire underlined that many risks remain for the global economy with the deteriorating geopolitical situation. Among those risks, Rothschilds included Britain's vote to leave the European Union, the U.S. presidential election, and China's slowing economic growth. Another risk is global terrorism, which Rothschild says is a consequence of the continuing conflict in the Middle East. So what the Lord is allowing, man, is allowing these devils to literally shoot themselves in the foot. Okay, Yahweh Shem Shai is allowing these devils to shoot them in the foot. And Jacob Rothschild is one orchestrating all this, because at the end of the day, all right, he's just doing the bidding of the left-hand side, all right, which in return is going to be his own demise, all right. But notice how all these scenarios are causing why the economy is in the situation it is. According to Bank of America Merrill Lynch, all right, because Bank of America and Merrill Lynch are now partners with each other, really together. Report in June, interest rates in developed countries, in particular America's 0.5%, are now at the lowest level in 5,000 years. 5,000 years? In their battle against deflation, countries such as Sweden, Switzerland, and Japan have even turned to negative key lending rates. So basically putting out that the economy is done. So let's get another article. Well, first let me get to another scripture. All right. This is the book of Psalms. Salaki, let me blow this up. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 118, verse 8. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. All right. And that's the majority of you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You put your faith in America, in politicians, in wealthy celebrities. Because really, if you really want to get wealthy here in America, you should be following the true elite, like Jacob Rothschild, okay, George Soros, Carl Icahn, these people. But no, you 2/3 so-called black Hispanics and Americans, you're going to follow football players, basketball players, celebrities, singers, and they're just put up there as puppets to give you this illusion that if you work real hard, you hit them, you do train for these sports, okay? The gymnastic nonsense, okay? The Olympics, another one, all right? Also, if you sing and dance, and you can become wealthy, and that's your own reward, because at the end of the day, these are the last days. A majority of you rappers, singers, dancers, sports players, you're not going to make it, man, okay? They don't want everyone. They're very selective. The Illuminati is very selective. But anyway, I don't want to jump off topic. Back to this article. Finance, this is from finance.yahoo.com. Legends of Finance have big bets on the stock market going down. Legends of Finance have big bets on stock market going down. Okay, that title right there. It should get you alarmed if you are so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American, because you're not the so-called white man. You don't even know what stock market means anyway, okay? Half of you clowns don't even know what it is to save, let alone invest in the stock market. You don't even know terms like put options, all right? Anyway, just going to read this article, all right? Famous global macro hedge funder Paul Tudor Jones, the founder of Tudor Investment Corp, doubled down on his bet against the stock market, according to his fund's most recent 13F filing. All right, so this is an investment corp who's doubling down against the U.S. stock market, meaning he's shorting against the stock market. All right, if you ever watched the movie The Big Short, it explains that. During the second quarter, Tudor Investment bought put options. Now, put option, it's just a nice fancy word, which means he is now he's speculating against a market, all right? And what he's speculating is that he's shorting against it in terms of if the value market goes under its current trajectory, all right, he can profit off of it, all right? He can profit off the shares. So right here it says Tudor investors bought put options on over 5.95 million shares. Lotta, okay? Half of you so-called Black, Hispanic, Americans don't even know what that means, so I'm just going to get to the point. Here we go. Legendary hedge fund manager, Salakia. Also, before I get to that, Jones, okay, this is the Jones, who's famous for nailing the Black Monday, October 1987 stock market crash, is not alone to bet against the S&P. All right, so this guy's the one that bet. Jones is the one who bet against the Black Monday, 1987. Now, any of you older so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you should remember that day because the stock market went crazy that day. All right, Jones joined by George Soros. Now, George Soros, another devil, okay, who also funds Black Lives Matter for you idiots out there and participating in that nonsense. Legendary hedge fund manager George Soros also doubled down on his bet against the S&P, buying put options on just over 1.9 million shares. Okay, so you have George Soros, Slakia. You have George Soros also betting against the stock market of the S&P, America's stock market. Soros, 86, widely known as the man who broke the Bank of England, following his short bet against British pound in 1992. All right. Soros warned that Brexit may be a greater calamity than the refugee crisis. He added that the UK's shocking decision has unleashed a crisis in financial markets comparable in severity only to that of 2007, 2008. All right, there you go. So not only do you have Soros, you also have, you have this guy Jones. All right, you also have Soros betting against the market. All right, so let's get to another scripture. All right, Proverbs 13:11. Wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished, but he that gathers by labor shall increase. All right? And I'm going to, so let me get to the point. Wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished. All right? And it's going to be diminished because all you so-called Black, Spanish, and Native Americans who don't want to get right, don't want to be, come to your true power, to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, you're going to be caught out in this madness, man. Last article, then I'm going to finish up with the scriptures. This is from CNBC. Billionaire investors turn bearish as U.S. stocks hit record highs. All right. So wait a minute. Why are billionaires, okay, betting against the stock market when the stocks are high? Because these billionaires know that these stocks that are high is an illusion. Okay, it's cheap capital being pushed into the market to give this illusion for you simpletons to go out there and spend your last red cent into the market before they crash it, okay? Several big-name hedge fund investors soured on U.S. stocks in the second quarter and moved to gold and other bearish bets, failing to anticipate a stock market rally in current quarter. Noting the recent run-up in benchmark Standard & Poor's 500 index to fresh record highs, while economic growth remains weak and corporate earnings are stagnant. That's right. So it doesn't make any sense. That's why the George Soros, Jeffrey Gundlach, Carl Icahn, and David Tepper. Okay, David Tepper. That's his name, David Tepper. All right. They're looking at the markets like, wait a minute, how in one instance the markets is rising, right? But the others, all right, the actual economic growth and corporate earnings are weak and stagnant. It doesn't make any sense, meaning it's an illusion. It's being propped up. It's an illusion. George Soros, Jeffrey Gundlach, Carl Icahn, and David Tepper were among billionaire hedge investors and money managers who slashed their long equity position in the second quarter, according to regulatory filings. All right, and this is Jeffrey Gundlach. This is this clown. All right, so there you have it, man. You're having all these multi-billionaires who their business is to make money and to pull out when they know they're not going to make money anymore, are now betting against the U.S. Stock market. All right. So let's get back here. Proverbs 13:11. Wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished. All right. So all you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that believe in America, believe in all this nonsense, constantly working hard to get all them goodies, which really you ain't getting nothing, because if you're not a hedge fund, if you're not into the market, if you're not a George Soros, Carl Icahn, or Jacob Rothschild, you ain't nothing, man. You're just a piece of shit. Okay, that's just what you are. Because if you don't want to get right with Yahweh Shem Yahshai, you're just a piece of shit. But he that gathers by labor shall increase. All right, what's that in labor? What's that labor? This is John 6:27. Labor not for meat which perisheth. That's right. So meat, it's symbolic. This is back in the ancient world. Food. That's the Lord's. It's really symbolic, because really, what's the meat? All right, what's that meat that everybody's looking for today? Car, house. Okay, because half of y'all clowns don't even eat properly. You don't even buy. Look into the food that you eat. You eat pork. You go to McDonald's. All right. So labor not for meat which perisheth, but for that meat which endureth unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you. For him hath Yahweh the Father seal. That's right, and that's according to the elect, because the elect are going to just make the money they can to pay the bills, survive. But merely they're laboring to inherit the kingdom of heaven, because the elect are knowing fully well that this economy is not going to last. The elect know fully well, okay, that America is over. All right. So, and with these news articles, you got a guy named Carl Icahn, who's a billionaire, has no faith in the American economy anymore, telling you this. All right. That should draw questions to your mind, like, hey man, how am I going to get out of this? All right. But the elect are the only ones that are going to know, because they're going to come back to their true power, to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and they're going to read the Bible. They're going to prophesy. They're going to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of their ability. All right, because they know this isn't going to last. So with that, all right, once again, we're living in these times, like the Apostle Tahar says, that this is 2016 year to push. And if you're noticing, all these billionaires are betting against the U.S. stock market. Okay, that means a global catastrophe is about to happen, starting everywhere, even especially here in America. And with that, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to the Yakim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. 1, 2, 3, death to America. Shalom.